Hey everybody, what's up from Pokemon Classics, reminding you that the classics never go out of style. About a week ago, I released a video taking a look at the top 10 low population set cards from early Wizards of the Coast in first edition. And today, as promised, is the follow-up to that video looking at the Unlimited counterpoints. Now, just as a quick disclaimer, today's video is only going to be looking at the sets that were released in both first edition and Unlimited. So some of the later Wizards of the Coast sets like Legendary Collection, the Expedition set, Sky Ridge, Aquapolis, all of those I'm going to save for a separate video because those are interesting in and of themselves. Now, just for a quick recap, for those of you that have watched this channel before, I believe that there are really three main factors that influence a card's collectability as well as its value, and those include rarity, the pull rate or how many cards were actually released, scarcity, how many of those cards are existing on the market at any given time, and then condition, how good is the quality of that card and has it been assessed by a third-party independent grading company. Together, all of those factors come together to influence whether a card is a good investment, a good collectible asset, and if it's going to maintain or grow in value over time. It's also perhaps worth noting that popularity and population are not necessarily interchangeable. You might have a card that's extremely popular, but given the large saturation in its population, it hinders the card's collectability as an asset. However, the opposite is also true. Just because a card is low in population doesn't mean it's going to have popularity or demand with collectors. So really, in an ideal world, it would be a combination of these two factors coming together for something that would be regarded as a good, solid investment. Having said that, I do find that population is generally a good barometer for the overall collectability and value of a given card. In short, if there's less supply available, it generally generates greater demand for those items. It's a matter of lower population, creating some level of market stability moving forward. At number 10 on this list, with a population of 10 cards in PSA 10 condition, is Entei from Neo Revelation. Now, interestingly, this card doesn't have any public sales data available over the last 5 years, so it's incredibly difficult to determine how much this card might be worth or how much one might go for in a public sale. Having said that, we could make a comparison to the first edition variant, which actually has 30 copies in PSA 10 condition currently circulating the market. Those cards generally sell for somewhere in the 5-figure range. It'll be interesting to see how this card plays out if and when it finally comes for sale, given that it's one of the most difficult cards to grade and one of the most iconic Pokemon from the Neo series. At number 9 is a two-way tie between another couple cards from the Neo Revelation sets. We have Houndoom as well as Porygon 2, both boasting a population of just 9 copies in PSA 10. Now, just like the Entei, the Porygon 2 doesn't have any public sales data available, and it's not quite as popular as these other two cards. Having said that, we do have a little bit of information on Houndoom. A Houndoom originally sold in May of this year in 2021 for a total of $2,600, which is a pretty strong price for an Unlimited card, which generally have a little bit less of a demand than the first edition counterparts. Having said that, there's only been 4 total sales of Unlimited Houndoom in the last 3 years, so it's a card that doesn't change hands very often and is one that doesn't hit the market very often. And it's a really cool artwork, if I do say so myself. Sharing the next spot on our list are actually 6 different cards from the Neo series, each of which have a population of just 8 in PSA 10 condition. Now, the first 2 of these are from the Neo Genesis set and include Jumpluff and Metal Energy, 2 of the less desirable cards in that set. Having said that, each of these cards has only featured 1 public sales data point in the last 4 years. The first of which is Jumpluff being sold in September of 2019 for a total of $13.20. Now, I don't know how accurate that data is, but for a card that only has a population of 8, that price is absolutely crazy. That's a steal if I ever saw one. Metal Energy, on the other hand, was a bit more recent in December of 2020, and this one went for $452, which is still surprisingly low. That's a card that's also very low in population in first edition. Our next card on the list is Hitmontop, coming from the Neo Discovery set, and this card doesn't have any public sales data available. So your guess is as good as mine if we're looking at value for that card. The other two cards from Neo Discovery, with a population of just 8, include Houndour, a crowd favorite and one of my personal favorite artworks, which has only had one public sale in August 2017, where it went for an even $100. It's an absolute steal. And then Yanma, which is traditionally regarded as one of the most difficult Wizards of the Coast cards to grade in first edition. In Unlimited, this card has had 3 public sales in the last 4 years, with the most recent one coming in December of 2020, where it sold for $1,125. Finally, with a population of just 8, is Magneton from Neo Revelation. This card has also only had one public sale in the last 4 years, this one coming in the summer of 2020 in the month of June, and that sale went for $324.92. Again, kind of crazy how much of a spread in value some of these cards have in Unlimited. At number 7 on our list, with a population of just 7 cards in PSA 10 condition, is another trifecta of Neo series cards, starting with Meganium number 10 from Neo Genesis, and unfortunately, this card doesn't have any public sales data. Now, I know this card is very difficult to grade in first edition form as well, and it generally goes for about 5 figures there. So it'd be interesting to see if and when one finally comes up for sale, where the Unlimited version falls in comparison. In Neo Discovery, we have Wobbuffet, which isn't quite as popular, but just like Meganium, this card also doesn't have any past sales data to base its value off of. Finally, with a population of 7, we have Light Togetic from the Neo Destiny set. And this card actually had 2 public sales in the last 3 years, with the most recent one coming just a few months ago in May 2021, where it went for $1,525, which is a pretty strong price for an Unlimited set card. Next, at number 6 on our list, with a population of just 6 cards, is Feraligatr number 5 from Neo Genesis. Now, this is personally one of my favorite cards from the Neo Genesis set, and I can certainly understand why it's difficult to grade in first edition or in Unlimited. Not only is the holofoil surface really light colored, which leaves it more susceptible to scratches and print lines, but this card was also highly playable back during its release. Having said that, we only have one data point to work off of when determining value, and that's coming from 3 years ago, back in April of 2018, where this card sold for $210. Personally, I think it would be really interesting to see an updated price of what one of these would go for today in our existing market. At number 5 on our list is another card that was featured on our previous top 10 list in first edition, as well as this one with Unlimited, and that's Misdreavus from Neo Revelation, with a population of just 5 cards in PSA 10 condition. Now, personally, I love the Ghost Pokemon. They're some of my favorite, especially when we're thinking of Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar, and Misdreavus is no different. Really love this card. Beautiful holofoil cosmic background happening here. But this card is one that's very difficult to find and almost never hits the market. This particular copy has seen one sale in the last 4 years, and that came in August of 2019 for the price of, get this, $27.51. Now, if that's not an outdated price for something this scarce, I don't know what is. Again, I'd be really interested to see what that market value is today. Anyway, it's a really cool Pokemon and a really low population. At number 4 on our list is our final 3-way tie between low population cards, and that's Dark Magneton, Typhlosion number 17, and Smeargle, each of which have a population of just 4 cards in PSA 10. Now, interestingly, all 3 of these cards are generally regarded as some of the most difficult cards to grade in their respective sets in first edition or Unlimited. Doesn't matter. So Dark Magneton is actually the only non-Neo series card on this entire list. So that's just a testament to how difficult that card is to find, despite having massively larger print numbers than some of its contemporaries. Typhlosion is often regarded as one of the most difficult to find cards and has a lot of popularity and demand driving that one. Personally, out of these 3, I like the Smeargle the best. I really like Smeargle as a Pokemon. I think it's a really interesting concept. He's out there painting with his tail. If you guys ever saw this card close up, there's like a smiley face painted in the background. I think that's an interesting touch. At number 3 on our list, and reaching into that upper echelon of low population scarcity, are a pair of the most difficult to grade and to find cards in all of Pokemon collecting, and they are Heracross and Slowking from the Neo Genesis set. Now, both of these cards were featured on our first edition top 10 low population list, and their unlimited counterparts are really no different. In fact, they're actually lower population here than they are for first edition even. Having said that, like some of the other cards on this list, they are so difficult to find that there is no public sales data available to base their value off of. I know that Beta Poke Trader on Instagram currently has one of these 3 Heracrosses up for sale. Not sure how much he's looking for, but it's a pretty rare card and very, very difficult to find. And for Slowking, I know that Zach, Gem Mint Pokemon, recently had a major acquisition of this card, checked it off his list of his master set that he's working on in a pretty high profile trade. So congratulations to Zach out there. I know that brings him one step closer. At number 2 on our list, with a population of just 1 card, just 1 in all of existence in PSA 10, is Ampharos and Blissey from Neo Revelation. Now, it's no secret at this point that Neo Revelation is unequivocally the most difficult Wizards of the Coast set to grade, and Ampharos and Blissey are a big reason why. Both of these cards are notoriously difficult to grade in first edition or unlimited, and with a population of just 1, there's no better way to prove that. Now, as you can imagine, with a population of just 1, there's no public sales to base this off of. However, Zach, Gem Mint Pokemon, recently acquired the Blissey, and now for his Master First Edition and Unlimited Holo set from Wizards of the Coast, he is just 1 card away from finishing that, and that's the Ampharos card. So hopefully he can pick that one up here in the near future. You really don't get any more difficult or more scarce when there's only a population of 1. Finally, to wrap up our list, we have to talk about pre-release Clefable. Now, I know this technically wasn't a set release card, and it wasn't featured in booster packs or booster boxes from Jungle, but this card is so notorious for its difficulty to grade and its horrendous quality control that I felt like we had to include this one on the list. Now, if you've ever held a pre-release Clefable and you've turned it around to the backside, you'll notice some corner damage on pretty much every copy, no matter how well preserved it's been. And I don't know if it's because the blades that were used to cut those particular sheets, but this damage is common on almost every single copy, making it extremely rare even for a card to achieve a PSA 8 or a PSA 9. Currently, there are 0 copies of this card available in the population report, and if one ever comes through, I would count it as a small Pokemon miracle personally. Nevertheless, I think this is a really cool card. It was the first of its kind, and really set the stage for other cards in subsequent releases and how Wizards of the Coast would promote their new sets early on. It truly is one of the most difficult cards to grade in all of Pokemon collecting. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for joining me for this top 10 countdown of lowest population cards in Unlimited from the early series of Wizards of the Coast. It's still mind-blowing to me to think that after all of these years, after the hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of cards that have been sent in for grading, that we still have set cards with a population in the single digits, some well into the single digits. It's crazy. Anyway, guys, I'll be doing a follow-up video to this, looking at some of the later Wizards of the Coast sets, Legendary Collection through Skyridge, because I think a lot of those have low populations as well, and they deserve some recognition of their own. Anyway, guys, I'm Pokemon Classics, reminding you that the classics never go out of style. We'll see you with the next video. Till then, live well and have fun. Bye, everybody.